Today we're going to work on JSON to CSV. Now, a lot of us as developers need the ability to export to a CSV file. So I'm going to show you how you can quickly do it. So I'm working in Node today, and let's go ahead and just bring up our terminal. And what I'm going to do is just npm init this project. We're going to go with Y so we can just go with the defaults. So doing so created the package JSON. We are then going to bring in a package or so. So let's go ahead and bring in the JSON to CSV package. So what we'll do here is npm JSON to CSV. So it's the JSON to CSV. Oh, it's the install. So let's just do an install. So now if we look at our package JSON, we are bringing in one dependency, the JSON to CSV. So let's go ahead and while we're here, create an index.js file. So what we need to do now is we need to pull in this dependency. So let's go ahead and in order to do so, we are going to pull in the parser from, so require JSON to CSV. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and create some JSON. So let's create an array of students. And in here, let's give them a few properties here. So let's create this object. Number one, it's going to have name. Let's call this one Mike. Let's go ahead and say that Mike is 23. Gender. Let's stay away from that. Let's just go with department. You know what? Let's do major. So he's a student. Let's do education. And minor business. All right. So let's go ahead and then let's bring this over. We'll go ahead and create a few more. Objects in here. Let's go ahead and create Susie, Bill, and Tom. Susie, Bill, Tom. Susie is a smart one at biology. Bill is studying astrophysics. And Tom is studying health. Let's keep all their minors at business and business there. So that looks good. We have an array. And so now what we want to do here is we want to define the fields that are going to make up the CSV file. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do const fields. We want, name, age, and let's only do their major. So now we have the fields that we want exported. What we're going to do now is allow us to create a parser. So let's go with, we're going to initialize the parser variable that contains a new parser that we defined above. We are going to take in a few things here. One is the fields that we defined above. We also want to say that let's make a delimiter of quotes, single quotes, and then we will quote anything with a quote. All right, so now we have that. The next thing we want to do is create our CSV. So you know what we need to do up here? Let's go ahead and pull in the FS module. So FS. Now we can use it down here to construct the file. So let's go ahead and say we want the variable CSV equal to parser. We're going to take in the students. Did I call that student or student? Let's just pluralize that. And we are going to define the fields as the second parameter. So we're essentially saying of this JSON object, bring in the fields, create a CSV file with the fields name, age, and major. So now we have that, let's go ahead and write the file. And we will call this students.csv. We're going to take in the CSV object that we defined here and just call out any errors. So let's just say if there's any errors, throw the error. If not, let's just console log that we wrote the CSV file. CSV file. All right, and yeah, this looks good. So let's spin this up, see what we got. So we're going to tell Node to run the index.js file. And it doesn't like that parser is not a function. So we need to, I'll tell you what, this is a good one. So let's go back here and say instead of parser, let's create another function here. Let's just say a function parse fields. And we're going to pass in the JSON and we're going to pass in the fields. So in doing that, we are going to say move this parser into there and let's return it. So now we have it in this function, let's return it out and just go parser.parse the JSON. And now down here in the CSV, let's go ahead and do parse fields. So what you're doing here is we're calling this function, we're going to pass in the students object, and we're going to take in the parameter of fields. We're going to construct the parser here, and then we are going to parse it. And we're returning it back, which we'll have it here, and essentially write it to a CSV file. I think that's a little cleaner. So let's run this, and bam. So now we have the students.csv file that includes the columns that we defined, which is name, age, and major. And for one more, instead of major, let's go ahead and say we want the minor. And we will create another file here, and we'll just call the students2 so we can see that we actually had created it and the differences. So let's rerun that. Now we have the first one which included the major, second one which included the minor. So it's a quick JSON to CSV. I hope you enjoyed it.